All right. Welcome to episode 2 of Grudge Match. And I'm your host, Garlock. I'm here with Stevie Wonder. He's a lot younger currently. We went back to the 60s and we got him. And he plays video games now, but he plays 2015 video games in 1963. So we're good.
I don't even know how that works.
So the first thing we were talking about a second ago, and then I stopped the conversation because I wanted to talk about it on air, was roguelikes. So I've been playing video games probably 20 years, and I've never heard the term roguelike before. And then in the past week, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know, less than a month, every single game is a roguelike. Oh, hey, what kind of game is that? Oh, it's like a roguelike. Oh, it's a roguelike. Oh, it's a roguelike. So someone described it to me the other day. They said that it's got random loot generation. It's got random like maps or whatever, so that it's different every time. And there's something sneaky or something, or
Something doing turn-based.
and yeah, and so I'm like, oh, so it's like Diablo 3, right? And they're like, no, that's not a roguelike at all. But every single thing that they said when they were describing a roguelike, it was basically Diablo. I don't know. I don't know what the hell a roguelike is.
Yeah, well, and someone read it, was it Reddit or one of the things that had like the definition. They said one of the things they threw in was turn-based. Of all the games I've heard roguelike, none of them have been turn-based. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like every time you get a little bit of clarification, it's like watching Lost. Like you get a little bit of clarification and you have 10 more questions you have no idea how to fucking answer anymore.
Okay, apparently a roguelike game is a... Read that for me, Doug.
Roguelike.
No, it's roguelike. Just read it.
Roguelike is a... What?
Roguelike is a subgenre of role-playing video games characterized by procedural level generation, turn-based gameplay, tile-based graphics, permanent death, and typically based on high fantasy narrative setting. Well, there you go.
So so all a roguelike is a turn-based RPG. Why don't they just say it's a turn-based RPG?
It's not answer because by that definition, Don't Starve and Binding of Isaac are roguelike games.
Well, Binding of Isaac isn't turn-based.
That's my point! It makes no sense!
The other thing that seems to incorporate things like XCOM as well.
I've heard XCOM called roguelike.
Okay. Permanent death is the biggest part of it, Hunter says. What's up, Master Dude? Do you have any idea what a roguelike is? Because we're just trying to figure it out. All right, so I don't know. I just wanted to. I figured I just wanted to talk about that on camera because, again, I mean, roguelike. Who the hell knows? Is Dark Souls? Well, no, Dark Souls isn't turn-based, and it's also like the map is the same every single time. Dark Souls is another one, man. Let me tell you about Dark Souls. So, a good friend of mine loves Dark Souls. Like, loves Dark Souls. Like, it seriously would write a dissertation on it if she could get a some kind of doctorate in Dark Souls. So, I'm playing it the other day, and I've played it before. I have it for 360, so I'm playing Dark Souls, and the difficulty is like, okay, cool, whatever, I'm going to die over and over, I get it. But in terms of anything else, at all going on in the world, Dark Souls is that game where if anybody comes by and starts talking to me, I'm just like, dude, you need to shut the fuck up and get out of here because I have to concentrate right now. Because it's not that I'm dying. Like, I don't mind dying. That's cool. It's the fact that when I die, every goddamn thing resets, and I have to go kill every single character that I've already killed again. So if I save it, and then I kill 4 zombies, and then I go and I get killed by a skeleton, now I come back to life, and I have to kill those same 4 zombies again, and then I have to kill a skeleton again, and it just gets to be such a fucking laborious task.
Not to mention get fucking weaker every time you die, too.
Do you get weaker every time you die?
I don't know. Well, maybe I shouldn't speak because my experience with Dark Souls was I loaded the game up, I watched all the stupid crap, I got destroyed by the giant monster in the intro.
Like
And
30
then,
times.
Yeah, because I'm stubborn and I'm me. I'm like, I could take this guy, and I think after an hour I got him down to a quarter health and finally moved on. And then I loaded into the game and I go, like you talked about before, I'm like, I'm gonna block, and then I rolled. And I'm like, I'm gonna parry, and I drank a potion, got hit in the face. And then I ran off in a corner by myself. Monsters were far. Okay, now I can drink a potion, and I hit the roll button, rolled off the cliff, and he's like, your body is gone forever. And I went, so is this game. Boop, and then that was it. I went back.
Well, and that's the other thing is that the thing that heightens the frustration is so in Final Fantasy or one of those games. The first game I experienced anything along these lines in Final Fantasy, you stop playing Final Fantasy for 6 months, you come back, and you have no fucking idea where you were. So you're like, all right, I know there was a story here somewhere. I know I was like in the middle of a quest, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So you have to spend the first hour trying to remember what the hell you were doing. Right? Now, Dark Souls isn't like that, but in terms of story, but it is like that in terms of like what you just said. So you have to build muscle memory, because if not, you're like, sweet, I'm going to parry this and just kill him in one hit. And your guy's like, let me drink the potion. And you're like, fuck, I hit B instead of A. You know, and it's just over and over and over this like repetitive sequence of not only do I have to go back and kill the same exact 4 fucking skeletons again that I just murdered like 30 times in a row and then died to the 5th one, but I have to do it in the exact proper sequence of whatever buttons I'm supposed to hit, which is muscle memory, but it's not the kind of muscle memory that like is completely repetitive, right? So you still have to react to what's going on, rather than just like memorizing, okay, A, B, you know, up, down, left, right, start. You know, because these things are hitting you in real time. It's not a quick time event. And until you develop that muscle memory, you're not going to get anywhere. And like I said, you put it down for a week and all that muscle memory is gone and you have to start over from scratch. Anyway, that's Dark Souls.
It's like the only gripe I have, or similar, is putting games down and coming back to it. To this day, one of the ones that has pissed me off the most was Mass Effect 3. I played through, probably about 60, 70% of the game, and I was like, I'm going to try out multiplayer. And me being me, you know, did the grinding all the way out to 100%. And this was later in the game, so it was like me and maybe the 3 random, you know, the 12-year-old kid who just got the game in Australia. You know, it was, let's go, man. Yeah, let's go. It's just like, what? I don't know what you said. And I'm teaming up with him, get to 100%. You know, I get to the game, like, okay, cool. Now I'm going to play the game again. I start playing through the game, and then I go to check my rating again, and it's back to 50%. I'm like, what the hell happened? They put decay in there. So it was like, oh, by the way,
yeah.
100% you have to do it again, because they're doing that whole, you paid for the game, but we want you to pay $60, and we want you to have pay-to-play elements in there, and it's just pissing me off that games are doing that.
Let's
we have our Huntin brought up, in his opinion, a game that you start with a character and you try to progress as far as you can without dying, while levels get harder and harder with randomly generated levels, and when you die you have to start all over again, is what he said his opinion of a roguelike game is, which is probably the best definition I've heard, because it didn't say things like turn-based.
Yeah. Well then, okay, so by that rationale, then Dark Souls is a roguelike.
That's what I'm saying. Like Dark Souls, Binding of Isaac, Don't Starve,
Binding of Isaac, yeah.
Hand of Fate, like these are all roguelike games.
All right, so here's my other question. Why the fuck are those things called roguelike and not like warrior-like? Because you know what? In roguelike, what a rogue does is fucking sneak around and not get hit. What a warrior does is mash his face into the nearest enemy over and over and over until he finally kills it. So that sounds to me like that's a fucking warrior-like, not a roguelike.
You're just mad that it's called Spartan mode. Like that's what
That's right. It should be fucking Spartan mode. Let's go play these Spartan mode games.